Hey guys, welcome back to Smells Like Teen Angst. I'm Keiki, and today we're going to be talking about the Peacock original series, Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy. Let's get into this one. All right, guys, before we start this conversation, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, especially if you want to see more things like this show. Now let's get into it. Devil in Disguise. Whew. I am one who will immediately say, I typically don't care for like serial killer stories because I feel like we're glorifying these people who are insane and have done insidious things and don't really need any more fame or encouragement. However, Devil in Disguise is not that show. Devil in Disguise is a multi-part series that kind of dissects the different murders that we know of John Wayne Gacy at the point when he was getting caught. We never really tell these tales from the point of them already ending. This show gives us the chance to put a face and a name to some of the victims that died at John Wayne Gacy's hand. And because of this, in my opinion, it is one of the best serial killer biopics I've seen in years. I'm sorry, Ryan Murphy, but you could take a note. It builds these really complex, heart-wrenching vignettes of the people that died at his hand. And adding that to this character, it gives you a bigger scope of how something like this could have happened. I think a lot of times we put ourselves in this box that a serial killer couldn't exist in today's world because there's so much media and cop policing and camera and CCTV and cell phone GPS location. That's not true, because at the end of the day, there are always people. People see, people tell, and people report. And what's the biggest problem in this case was the failure of Cook County and the prejudice people had against a lot of these victims. Some of Gacy's victims were homosexual, young derelicts, sex workers, or people running away from home. He pulled from a pool of unseen faces. And because of that, and the failure of the police force, who was warned about this man many times over decades, he was able to continue his pattern. And the show really gives us insight into how prejudice against these particular victims led us there. Even though there were survivors, let me say that again. There were people who survived the hands of John Wayne Gacy, but because they were a part of the homosexual community, they were ignored. And they allowed this man to stay on the streets, killing more people at large for many decades to come. On top of giving us the insight into reasons that this crime persisted for so long, it's also a giant historical testament as to why it should never occur again. Personally, I hope that this was a huge lesson for Cook County, because there were parents that sued for money and the loss of their children, as well as a lesson in how prejudice can lead to the over-policing or under-policing of underserved individuals. This is not just a serial killer story. This is a testament and an apology to the homosexual community, as well as a prime example of what not to do when people tell you that there are wrongdoings. Also, for the most part, we do not see the abuse that is taking place. We do not see the assaults, the murders, the gore of it all. Instead, we're hearing about it firsthand, which is actually more powerful than any type of weird gore that someone can put together to make us watch on television. Because at this point, we know what's happening. We know where the bodies lied. We know how they got there and what he did to them. Knowing the people he did it to makes it 100 times worse. Another really great thing about this series is that we are also not excusing any of his behavior. And a lot of these serial killer biopics, we say he had a head injury, he was abused by his father, his mother never loved him, and we compound these into reasons why someone can become so villainous. This show, this series does not do this. They allow him to be seen as the monster he truly is. I was moved to tears many times during this series. And I don't cry easily, but when you put not only names, but faces and backstory to people, it makes it that much harder to lose them. This series is a 10 out of 10. And I hope that the producers of this do the same type of treatment to many other serial killers that get recycled over and over and over again. Let's try to give a name and a face to these victims. And I'm sorry, but throw dirt on the grave of these murderers.
How many did you kill? Up to you to find out.
I really enjoyed this series. I hope you guys do too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.